Here's Hargreaves, chance for Torquay! Chris Hargreaves, the captain! If he stays onside, Carlisle checks instead. He's looking for Benyon. Sells!
Happy postseason, lads.
Yeah, loving it. Joined by Dom.
Good evening, lads.
Some bloke called Chris has joined us.
I thought it was my dad. I thought it was my dad for a second, but no, apparently not. He didn't.
I don't know who it is. I don't recognise him. Basically, it's been a couple of weeks almost since the season. Chris has lost all his facial hair. I've started a Torquay United football manager, of course, to cope with everything. I predicted that we would beat Hampton heavily, and then everyone wants to keep everyone, and our poll suggested that. And
that was probably Haven't, Sam.
Haven't, not Hampton.
That's the one. Same one. I can't even remember. And we have not got a new owner yet. But did anyone really think all the due diligence was going to get done over this time? I don't. I'm not panicking yet. But we're getting to it. We've got a lot of Kelly's Corner this week. We've got a lot of Kelly's Corner. We've asked you a lot of questions. We'll focus on that this week. We'll have a little bit of a chat about the 5-0 win against the team that I've just mentioned. Well done, Austin Booth. What a hit. What a screamer that was. I think that I know they were just like not at the races at all, and they were just awful. But didn't that just show you how frustrating this last season was? Because like all you have to do, you don't have to play great. You just have to do a nice bit of movement, put the ball in the right areas, and we would have won so many more games. And fair play to Downs and all that for actually getting it a little bit better near the end. But it was all going to seem a long time ago very quickly last season, I feel.
At least it felt like we had a bit of a team spirit by the end of it, didn't they? They came together a little bit more than they did under Gary Johnson. So it gave us a bit of good feeling to take over. Not loads, but we felt better about the squad.
I agree. And Dean Moxey winning the Player of the Season, that's a nice story. We're all happy for Dean. And it's really nice to see how much it meant for him as well. I mean, that was my vote. I think it was a lot of people's vote. It was Vox. Or evidently it was. But it was Moxey for Player of the Season and Jude Boyd for Young Player. But it's definitely mine. So going forward, now, you're going to get a lot of uncertainty. You're going to get a lot of worry. And I totally understand that. This is professional, very serious and a bit scary business. I understand the frustration, but I don't see it being done for 2 or 3 weeks.
It's all the legals, isn't it?
Yeah, it takes
time. I mean, when you
ages.
buy a house, things can stick in these people's places for a while. So this is
that's a very good thing, Dom. It takes like a couple of months for a house to go through sometimes, doesn't it? So, and the main thing is we have to get it done by the AGM, of course. Is that June? The whole get to the Football League in 2 years line. I mean, a lot of people are distrusting it because there is always the rumours. We don't want it linked with any of the party that have just underperformed heavily, as mentioned heavily previously. And it needs a complete rebuild. But the aim for the Football League, that's all well and good. But whoever it is, you've got to build a football club from the bottom. You know, you've got to get rid of all the people not pulling away way behind the football side into the football side. And it's not a case we're a big club and we're going to go through things. Look at the playoff final. I get a bit annoyed when there's in the National League side. When I get annoyed when I read obviously comments, obviously we're all going, we're laughing Bromley, Solihull Moors. They're fantastically run football clubs in the main who have done brilliant and have got a business model. Even though we look at that National League, apart from Chesterfield and like Oldham, Chesterfield's obviously gone up, and we go, let's be fine with Torquay, get up there. These are really well-run football club and football club businesses, and I'm not saying Torquay can't do that, but it's not just our name and the fact we're in the Football League for many years means we deserve to be above all these. These are very run football clubs. Look how many years Bromley have worked at it. You know, Woking went for it. Obviously, they had a disaster last season and then stayed up. But there's a lot of clubs who are pushing really well. It doesn't look that scary on paper as it did a few years ago. But it's a very, very well-run clubs in that league now. It's not a case that and even in the south, there's a lot of run. Look at Dorking coming down, all teams like that. You know, there's a lot of well-run clubs in there. What Maidstone did in the FA Cup. So it's that's my feeling on it.
I think we were quite disrespectful to the league when we were in it. We often say, it's only there.
Thing,
It's only Solihull, it's only Eastleigh, and all those sort of teams and that. But these are teams that have stayed in that division for years and built.
But they've invested in all the right areas. You look at Bromley, for example, they've got a fantastic youth setup. Solihull have invested. You can look at the crowds they get, which, you know, maybe doesn't stack up much, but the end of the day, they're in the playoff final. They're gonna one of those two are going to be in the Football League. I was watching the Bromley Altrincham game the other day, and even Altrincham played really well, and I felt they were a little bit hard done by.
Altrincham only came up a couple of years ago, back up, and look how well they've been run with the youth and
it's tough. It's tough. It's very tough to get into the Football League, especially whilst there's only one automatic and one playoff spot, and there's some good teams up there, and even the National League South,
National League at this stage.
You focus on our division, and you look at the teams that have come down: Dorking, Boreham Wood. You expect Dorking will invest quite a bit and try and get back up because that's just the club they are. They're very ambitious owner and all that. We all know that already. Boreham Wood, you don't know what they're going to offer. Are they going to bounce straight back, or there's a big rebuild there over the summer now that Luke Gerard's left, and even the clubs that are coming up from the Southern League and the Isthmian League, Hornchurch. They could be another Averley. I mean, Averley got into the playoffs and were very unlucky not to get to the semi-finals. So it's a tough ask. It's a very tough ask, and I think we all just want stability at our football club and to set the foundations right and then look at progressing.
It could be a tough season again, but I prefer to start a slow upwards this year. And I know we're going to miss out on players, but we can sort of get that back as time goes on. And a lot of players don't decide until the end anyway. They weigh out their options.
But don't get me wrong. Like before we jump in there, Chris, don't get me wrong. We are going to be the biggest club in that division next season by far.
And if we do get it right, we can still win the league. In the next year or two, and if we do get it right, the standard of the National League is not right. It's just the standard of the clubs are much better. It's not going to walk in park. If Torquay get it right, there's no limit to what they can achieve.
I say every time we record, it's that potential around this football club. Now, obviously, if we get it right, fantastic. But being the biggest club in a division doesn't guarantee you success. You've got to prove that on the pitch, and you've got to be very well run off the pitch to be successful at this level of football, and be difficult next year. I think people fear they recalled the playoff final a couple of years ago, how late into the season we finished, and that kind of put us at a disadvantage going into the National League the following year because every other club had done their recruitment, and while we were kind of playing catch up on the back of a disappointing playoff final. And
yes,
I think
they just recruited very stupidly and poorly.
That is true, but I think it played a part personally. So I think some fans, I can see why some fans are a little bit, worried about the takeover things. But at the end of the day, there's, NDAs have been signed. So as far as I'm concerned, personally, no news is good news.
It's on the way. Yeah. Well, I'd rather have this rather than wake up to the deal's gone and we're in Division 9, Tier 9. And I just think that, if you give me a thing where it's going to be a bit of a tough year, but we've got the owners, we're going to get this right. The end of it, Torquay United Football Club is in a critical. There is basically no Torquay United Football Club as we stand. That's still when I'm seeing comments about, Winter's been released, let's go and sign them. We don't have a football club at the moment, as much as I love that, and I won't move back anyway, because I think you move for location reasons. But it's like that we are still do not have a football club at the moment. This is a thing, and we're in a critical situation. And I will just take having a club and then build in slowly next year. I mean. If we get the club, if it's very last minute, players will still. If we're set up right, players will come to Torquay in the National League South. That's not a problem. But
much might depend on who our coach is, of course.
Exactly.
So that could have an influence. But it's getting a full-time squad together that you can build on. They don't have to be world beaters to start with, but getting good guys
in the right, good guys, technical
good
players,
guys at the top of the club who can make the right decisions on the football inside and get
a few loans in as well.
Sowing the seeds for a club we can be proud of again. I think.
Yeah, I totally agree. And that means you have to sack all this stuff where the community and the club are completely disjointed. You have to get rid of certain people who have made the club a misery to even walk in and deal with over the last few years, and aren't forward thinking at all as a business. So that's all you need to do, and that's a big thing, and that won't happen overnight. So, but
Chris, I jumped ahead of you there. Have you got anything to say, Chris? I kind of jumped ahead of you there.
I was just it's interesting. I think a few things, and I'm not worried because these things take time, and these things, and it's probably a good thing it's taking time because it means it's been done properly. On the player situation, I'm not concerned about that either because again, I don't know the ins and outs of these things, but with knowing how football works and seeing how football works, the people that are in the process of buying the club, they'll know who they want as manager. That manager will have been contacted. That manager will know the players he wants to bring in, and will be having conversations with those players about, I'm going to Torquay. Do you want to join me? And that's just the way it works. That's the way the industry works. So I'm not worried in that sense. And
unlike the National League, we wield power in this division as well, don't we? We're one of the few full-time teams, so we can
absolutely.
In the National
Yeah, at
League,
the
we were
moment.
just fighting it out with all the others,
Yeah.
all the other full times, and that was what our
absolutely,
struggle.
And we had very high
and
expectations
I think,
that year.
Yeah, and I think as well on the national, football league in 2 years thing. I think if they have said that, I don't know where that's come from. But again, I think it's one of those things where it's one of those you can't do right for doing wrong statements. If they said we want to buy the club, this club's in a mess, we need to stabilise the club, we need to get it on a level, we need to get it solvent, we need to get it on a level playing field,
full-time for you,
run it within its means, we're going to go part-time, and all of that, then people will be going, it's a bit underwhelming, isn't it? Well, that's crap, isn't it? So actually having a bit of ambition, I've got no issue with. The only positive I would take from that statement, whoever has said it, is that might suggest that these people coming in have got money.
Yeah.
And actually they're not coming in just to keep it in existence and to stabilise it. That if they're going to do this, they're going to do this because
I'd take more positivity from it.
We'd rather they had ambitions than.
I've got no issue.
Do you know where it comes from? It's because
it's the kind of thing I'd say if I was buying the club.
I wouldn't say in 2 years.
We're going to give us a crack. If we can do it in 2 years, that's the minimum time we can get to where we want to be. We're going to try and do that.
The problem comes from with that, and I think a lot of people's mind is that's all GI and that's all Clark Osborne and George Edwards would say. Oh yeah, we need to get to the Football League. That's the aim. We got Football League. And everyone was like, "Well, we're going to do that." One Club United. Yeah,
but I've got no issue with it. Bloody good.
Yeah,
that's what you want to do. Good, because that's what we all want. It isn't going to be that easy, but great. Let's try and do that then. Good.
If you're going to try and do it properly, if you're going to try and put things in place and have that ambition, you're not going to be far off a lot of the time if you do it right over time.
And I've heard a few people as well say about why they're not selling season tickets, why they're not bringing revenue, why they're not. Because you can't. Because they can't.
You're in strict allowed. We're not.
Worst case scenario, you could be. You may not be selling in a product.
No.
Worst case scenario.
But then I guess
it's all come quickly, won't it?
If you get the right owners in, then people will buy season tickets.
If they come in like a month before, I don't know when the last date. I can't think of the mass when the AGM comes in. But put it this way: if it comes up last minute, no Torquay fan who are going to get a season ticket will go, "Well, I was gonna get one in May, but I'm not now. Now we've got a new owner, and I can only do it in May." They'll just get it anyway. Yeah, no, I understand everyone's nervousness, and I think because we live in this instant world as well, where we have to know every instant. And
we've had so many disappointments,
yeah, of course, yeah. But if you look in the modern world, in any transfer window, rumor up like in the Premier League, that Fabrizio Romero's giving you 24 tweets before something's about to happen, and it's like, I didn't see that coming. We live in a world where we don't have to know everything, and not everything's in the know and all that. So. I'm not personally right now. Obviously, I'm concerned. I'm always going to be concerned about Torquay, but this is just business now, and it's very tricky. If it comes
towards the end of May, and we have
that's when I get worried. Yeah, but Chris has had to attend a family thing. It's all okay, I believe. But this just means more editing for me. So, but hopefully it's okay. That's the main thing.
Kelly's Corner, shall we?
Today, mate, haven't you?
Very, very busy. We asked, whilst we're awaiting news of takeovers and all that, what's the top 5 things you would like to see from our new owners? Loads of engagement. So thank you, everyone, once again. I'll try and get through them as quickly as I can. Apologies if I do miss any out for whatever reason, but there's just so many to go through. So start with Phil Perkins, who says engagement, openness, honesty, transparency, and above all, ambition. Everything that was missing from the Osbornes/Edwards farce.
Yeah.
The Torquay Groundhopper says ambitious but realistic plans to get us back into the Football League. Transparent, honest, and open leadership. Making a genuine effort to engage with the local community and repair ties. Mark Hurst says show pride that are in charge of a great club. Employ a coach who can make players better and not rely on those worked with before. Better communication by all at the club, and to increase matchday revenue by giving fans more options such as better food, drink and merch outlets, etc. Clive says there are a few options. 5 lashes for Osborne and Edwards. A new back four and goalkeeper, and 5 3 pints a game to help us get through them. Agree with that. Jules Nixon says 30 degrees, beaming sunshine every game. Absolutely. Tibbs says regular open fan engagement, make Boots a more pleasurable place to spend time and keep the lights on. Safeguard the future of the academy, youth team and women's team as part of the structure. Prioritize sustainability with an aim to break even within 3 years, regardless of division, and to promote the club within the community, offering discounted tickets to young, old, and economically disadvantaged fans. Harry says lower ticket prices, partnership for away travel, improvement of match day facilities such as hospitality, increased social media presence and content, and new everything at the football club, board, commercial, and management.
Family stand, painted seats. Oh my God,
Yes.
still paler than me.
Absolutely.
I think ticket prices is quite a big thing to look into as well, isn't it? Just feel like it's been overpriced last year. So
and if you overprice
Just
things, people will have over. Leicester City did the same thing. They put Premier League prices, and if they don't have Premier League standard kind of games, and that obviously have gone up now. But there's a worry, and I think you need to get that balance. You know, I think you get more people in if they don't feel ripped off.
Well, it's like I know a lot of clubs do it, but there's £2 extra on the day. Like, just
mate,
get in the bin. You're missing out on so
they
much.
They don't even promote it right. They don't even go, save £2 if you do it before. It's, you know.
Well, let's take cash at the turnstile. Let's not be too picky.
Or do what Hampton do, charge over the top prices, and then as the season goes on, reduce the entrance fee, make it worth your while then. Carrying on, Off the Line blog says development of matchday facilities such as catering and a fan zone outside the ground, a complete overhaul of the commercial department, appointment of a director of football with good contacts and experience, more open communication and dialogue, regular forums and steering groups, and a new manager.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, a director of football would be great if they can afford it. We haven't been well run as a football club since Colin Lee left, probably. He was our director of football.
Dare I say someone like Neil Warnock, because he's been at the last few home games, hasn't he? Like, whether he would or not, I don't know. But
yeah, he's certainly interested in the club. He's been to a few games. So.
Lovely bloke as well.
Yeah.
So we've got Yellow Lurker, who says 1 TUS seat on the board, a realistic 5-year plan, commercial revenue generating ideas. So we know they've got sustainable income in mind, a community engagement plan, and an endorsement from experienced football figures, perhaps our next manager or director of football. Joe Tune says new bunch of players, new manager, communication to the fans, such as proper forums, improve the club shop, and to get rid of Heyman and Edwards. Andy Charles says a 25-year-old Neville Southall, a 20-year-old Matt Elliott, a 23-year-old Alex Russell, a 22-year-old Rodney Jack, and a 24-year-old David Graham.
Yeah,
he doesn't drink. Anything less, there'll be a failure. Julian Bishop says a believable plan to achieve long-term sustainability, focus on engagement with fans in the community, a new manager who likes to keep on the ball on the ground, and with good links with clubs that will help develop younger talent, and owner who actually comes and watches games. Rob Burkett says openness and honesty, sustainability, commitment to the community, such as the Torquay United women's football team and the TUCST. We've got Devon, FA affiliated academy, and a statue of Jules Nixon. George says a youthful fan, engaged social media team, reality, truth, and honest. Matt says ambition in all areas on and off the pitch, a better match day experience from food, drink to activities and entertainment, a complete rebrand, a pathway from academy to first team, and improved presence from merchandise in the area, and capitalise on tourists with merch and tickets. A few more on Twitter. Theo says a rebuild for the youth academy, better training facilities, a decent squad rebuild, plans to get us where we belong, and honestly, Edwards and Osborne could never have done that. Ollie says passion, loyalty, money, sacking the Heymans, and respect. Mike says honesty, transparency, integrity, community engagement, ambition, and presence. James says emphasis on youth development. That's all the main ones I can see on Twitter there. So that's just Twitter.
Well, thanks everyone as well.
And I'll go on to Facebook. I'll try and read the ones who maybe haven't been on Twitter yet. So same question. So Mark Biffle says reduced admission prices to coincide with the league we're in. Reduced prices means more away fans and hopefully more home fans as it becomes more affordable. Neil Holloway says reduced admission fees, cash on turnstile, a voice with the board through a fans advisory group, open and honest comms regarding our situation, and 1, 3, 5-year plans, as well as regular fans forums. Ross Warner says admission / season ticket prices lower and pay on the gate without a £2 match day extra. open and honest and forget about a new ground. Just tidy it up a little bit, which I agree with. I don't know if that's a council run thing that would need to go by to get it tidied up, seeing as it's a council owned ground. I don't know, but definitely need to look at paint or two.
Yeah,
Better match day experience, pre-match and half time, fans forums and communication work with fans and community, and to bring the club back to life and a return to the EFL. Who else we got? Biffa Bear, Emmerdale to be in on the Gull'S Nest before kickoff. Probably better. That'd probably be the best entertainment, to be honest. So Kevin Stoyle says, just to have confidence and trust that the owners have the best intentions for the football club and show that they care about the fans. They'll make mistakes for sure,
Yeah,
but if
no,
they
that is
show
a
they
crucial
care, the
bit.
rest is likely to follow.
That is a crucial bit. Look at any of them, all of them, all of them. They all make mistakes. But there's a big difference, isn't there? Yeah.
I've always said, accountability to me is huge.
Yes.
Like you're not going to get everything right, but please.
We don't expect them to be perfect, do we? It's the approach is so important.
Steve Browning says, stability, care about the club, return to pay on the gate at the same price, part ownership by the fans and also fans on the board. Harry Locke says, reduced gate fees and incentives for first, such as bringing in a friend to games, better links with supporters in the nearby community, or a continuation of what we've seen since Clark has gone. Heyman and Edwards nowhere near the club in official capacity and no talk of a new stadium. Yeah, Steve George says, a better, more competitive squad, a better communication with fans to be open and honest, reducing the admission prices, scrapping the £2 extra on the day, better use of facilities that we have, food deals, a match day marquee on the grass outside Boots and Laces, serving drinks on a rare, warm, sunny day. People can enjoy a drink in the sun, plus local bands after the game, and perhaps even include a happy hour during that period. A better range of products in the club shop and better opening hours. Tim Middleton would like to see improvement on the pitch and a good paint work outside on the ground, especially the family stand as it needs brightening up a bit. Alistair Part says, tidy up the stadium, better products to buy, including retro kits with the crest, investment in the squad and local community, regular updates and honesty about the club. We've got Les Quaintis who says, more communication, pay on the gate, a decent team on the pitch, a fans forum.
It's probably the most important bit of the team,
yeah. And two more bar staff at halftime, please. Why did they only let so many into Boots and Laces at halftime? I guess that is probably a health and safety thing.
They need to redesign
licensing thing, I imagine. Yeah. I never really saw when I was in the hospitality. I never realised how many people actually went in just before halftime.
Yeah, you can't see. It's a way you can get more up to the family stand one either. I don't know. I doubt it, but we'll see.
Few more. Paul Butler says, someone who can build a proper database and use it to drive better communication to generate revenue and engage with fans. A proper look at the match day as an event so that Boots and Laces feel more fan orientated and people come earlier and stay longer. And a real focus on getting those who attend for a first time to return to the club.
Yeah. All ones like us to keep going.
Adam Geary says, stability and ownership without a caveat. No lottery winners or ulterior motives, please. Mike Berry says, a clear out of all the hangers on trying to justify a wage, a focus on local talent and development, pay on the gate, ground to be used for all the community, music, etc. Realistic admission prices for the football that you're dishing up. That one's coming up a lot. Some guy called Sam Swan. Didn't know there was two, but there you go.
There is two of us.
The other one. There's only
both from Leicester. There's both from Leicester as well. How mad's that? Can I point out? Both from Leicester. Both moved down here. Both talking Leicester. You didn't see that one coming.
There you go, Sam. You got a shout out there. So Sam Swan says, a decent kit, fans first focus, sensible commercialization to benefit the club, such as a better match day experience, bar, food, music pre-game, better sponsorship, and B2B relations to draw revenue, better match day sponsorship offers, funds to realize the ambitions, and a personality that can resonate and connect with the fan base.
Tell you what, Sam Swan said in our speak a lot of sense, I think.
And I think, lads, I've reached the end of my corner there. A lot there. Thank you to everyone once again who continues to contribute to Talky Talk. If you haven't subscribed again, subscribe for goodness sake.
God's sake, embarrassing. We've gone through all this rubbish and I still haven't even got to 500 subscribers yet.
But yeah.
Look at the shift we've been through last season.
Yeah, God. Only 13 in the last 28 days.
But I think, lads, there's a lot there. Do the ground up a little bit. A complete refresh. Get rid of the £2 on the day and make admission fees more realistic for the level that we're at.
Open and
And
honesty came
Emmerdale
up
in the
an
bars
awful
before
lot, didn't it?
kickoff, which I can get behind.
Open and honesty came up a lot, didn't it? And I think
Mm.
that's we want the reverse of what the
So,
previous
yeah.
guys were serving up, don't we? We want people who are going to be at the ground, people who want to talk to you, and personalities
agree.
you can warm to
Yeah.
on that score. People with passion for football as well would help. Somebody.
And
Really
there's
care.
business sense as well. Like just look at people and go, right, I want you to justify a wage, any aspect of the club. I want you to really show me new ideas moving forward. Also to motivate them, so they can't get motivated to move on. It's so much like the Sunderland documentary when they try and motivate the new staff. That's all I can think of when that in season 2. But it is true. That's what you kind of need in a way. But hopefully a bit more successful than they were. But
well, you've got your name out about Swanee. Why don't you get in touch with Netflix or Amazon, see if they can do a following Torquay? Follow Torquay Talk. Imagine.
We'll see.
Yeah, I think for me, I think it's just
trying something.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Ooh. I think for me personally, lads, again, it's just being held accountable. I want people that are fans of this football club, who care about this football club, and are willing to involve the fans more. Again, I know it's not going to be plain sailing. Mistakes will be made, and we'll accept that. I still think, I'm going to lean on being ambitious towards next season if we can get new owners in.
Yeah, let's have that. Let's have some fun
I'd like
again.
to think we can do better than 17th, 18th in the bloody National League South.
Even if it's a slow start.
It'd be tough. But I think if you can get that optimism over the summer, you'll see the club thrive. And fingers crossed, everything goes well, and we can look forward to brighter and better things for Torquay United Football Club.
I mean, I think the club are lucky to have such a loyal following, because a lot of clubs would have.
You imagine
the previous one, the attendances would have dropped dramatically, the lost supporters, but that hasn't happened at Torquay, and that's
Paul Mohan. He said it absolutely brilliantly, didn't he?
Amazing.
In his radio piece, like
we'll try and get him on
3,000 people turned up for a dead rubber National League South game. I mean, it's crazy.
We didn't give up on the club, did we? We didn't give up, and all we need is the new owners who appreciate that and can take us forward.
Yeah,
and speak to us as supporters and value what we know, what we understand. What our hopes and dreams are. We just want people who engage with us, don't we? Like that. That can go a long way. So, but the wait goes on, won't it? So we shall see.
Yeah, no, we will see. It's limbo at the moment, really. It's almost like, from a personal point of view, I kind of put Torquay's just there, and I'm just carrying on because I know I can't really affect anything. There's nothing that's really going to happen for a while, and I've just got to hope.
It's like it will be an explosion of news when it happens, because
but I'm not expecting anything for a few weeks.
You suddenly get a new coach, new players, suddenly everything suddenly happens, doesn't it?
Or the club will be absolutely done when we start again in tier 9. This one or the other, bring it on. Whatever happens, I'll be there. But if it is anything like the old regime, I won't set foot. And Buckland will get an influx. So obviously, if there is stuff, I'll give him a chance. I'll give him a chance to prove me wrong if there is. But if it's anything like the last time, that's me completely done. Because the football club, it will just die out anyway. If that carries on, the football club will just die out, and we'll just be back to square one where we are now. Anyway, but
and I think it's important. It's important from a fan's perspective as well that the new owners will. The fans will hold them to account the same way we've been holding Edwards and Osborne to account for so long.
Yeah.
But again, I think no news is good news. Be patient, Yellow Army. These things take time. There's so much good around the football club, fans, and we've seen the under-18s have, won their cup in front of 500 fans the other day. So congratulations to them.
Yeah.
Keep the faith, keep it yellow. Yeah, well,
I mean, look how good I thought. Every time I've seen Thomas this season, Callum Thomas off the bench, he's looked really he's just looked ready. He's just pretty, obviously everyone's got a lot to learn. And then that Wellington who come on, he got some skill about him, hasn't he? So you get a bit more power as he sort of grows up a bit into that shot. And you've got, I love the fact he's took on 2 players. There's 3 people there. and he hasn't passed over Mala's shot, and it's ended up at Jude Boyd's
Mm.
feet. Yeah. And I'm like, man, he could have
Just
looked
did
up
it in
there.
the end, didn't
But
he?
I
It was
love
nice.
the fact he got the ball and
Yeah.
took on players, and when it comes out of your academy, that's great, and it shows we've got some players there. I
Yeah,
understand.
that's a sign the academy is great. Well, not. It's not
I
a
understand the
proper
want to keep
academy,
them
is it? It's
back
great.
because you want your under 18s to keep winning games and you want to keep them there and getting them match. But especially if we don't know what a club is, I'd take those sort of if absolute disaster happens, I end up in like tier 9 or something, we get booted out, and you're just going to chuck them in first team anyway, aren't you?
Well, if we end up in tier 9, we know someone who's already won the league who'll be able to guide us back up. So
Silsey.
well done, Silsey.
Yeah, and on the last note, well done, Tim Sills. He got it all from sharing it with ourselves. Always manager expertise. But no, that's fantastic promotion. That really made my weekend last weekend. So I'm really, really happy for him. And Wimborne, they seem quite an ambitious club, don't they? I mean, there's always that worry with clubs, and that I think that's what happened at Hamworthy, whereas before they went up or something like that, and or a lot of clubs have done it. Basically, they go up a division and they realise they can't really afford it. But there seems to be quite a lot of ambition and backbone into that club with facilities they put into. So
I say this now. I know in the past having ex-players and ex-legends as manager hasn't quite worked out, but
he's been there, done
Gull'S
it.
did come available. I don't think I would be too opposed to it myself.
Because he's
but
been there, done it at this, especially, if we're going to sit down here for a bit, he's been there, done it. That's the difference. I mean, Nicholson did the best we could, but it was his first job. Hargreaves, it was his first proper job. Where Sills has been there, done it from a couple tiers below at the moment.
and he's someone the fans would get behind as well.
Yeah, if he struggled though, it really hurt because he's literally my favourite ever Torquay player. But I wouldn't hold it against him. I didn't hold it against Nicholson when it was struggling. It's a bloke doing his best. So, yeah, it's interesting one. But yeah, that's a nice positive to end. Well done for reminding me, Tom. But yes, thank you for joining me, you two, and Chris in the first half. Thank you for watching, everyone. This kind of limbo episode. I think we'll wait until there is news next. I mean, we want to do like the classic who do we keep, who do we not, or reaction to it, but at the moment there's no point because we don't know where we're going to be. I mean, my opinion is still the same, that I wouldn't really keep any of them if we're going ahead on a full-time business, but I would like to keep a couple, and that's about it. So but we'll see.
It's difficult, isn't it? I went through the list the other day and I felt a little bit more sympathetic about
you
some
do
of
feel
them,
Mhm.
and I thought I would.
But you need, if they've got the good players around them, a good manager. And look what's happened to Silva's doing really well for Willstone now.
And I think that's what swayed me.
If he has a good manager,
could
something
a
will
new
do
coach
better.
get a little bit better out of some of these players, and would they become a real asset in the division?
And if they had a few more technical players in the squad, which I just keep
Let's
saying
be
every
honest,
week
we
now.
looked at the squad at the start of the season. We thought it should have been up Challenger reviewable, didn't we?
Yeah, no, that's what I agree.
Obviously, we were completely wrong on that score.
Yeah, but if we had a good manager, and
there's
we
a
had
lot of
different
factors
players,
involved in why it didn't happen, as well as them not being good
A
enough.
first summer without Gary Johnson recruitment. Bring it on.
Lovely. Hopefully,
We're
Pete
still
Holmes has
needing
gone
to
as well.
recruit about 15 players. So.
It'll take time. You won't get every single one right, but it's been done. Right. Thank you so much for watching, everyone, and we'll see you hopefully in a couple of weeks with good news.
Here's Hargreaves, chance for Torquay. Chris Hargreaves, the captain. If he stays onside, Carlisle checks instead. He's looking for Benjamin. Sells.